Hi friends, it's Jennifer with Jennifer at Home. I'm so happy you're here today because today we're going to make the easiest ever meatloaf. To make this meatloaf, we'll need some breadcrumbs. If you don't have breadcrumbs, you can easily take some day-old bread or some bread that you have on hand and put it in the food processor and blend it up. I've put some basil in here too since I didn't have Italian breadcrumbs. Italian breadcrumbs always add to the flavor of the meatloaf. So if you don't have dry breadcrumbs, you can always take your bread, you can tear it up or mix it in the food processor, and then you can put it on a baking sheet and toast it in the oven, or you can toast it in the toaster ahead of time and then just break it or crumble it into the meatloaf. While the breadcrumbs are toasting, let me show you what all I added. I added the basil to the breadcrumbs. Then I added 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of parsley. I also added a 1/3 cup of tomato ketchup, a good splash of Worcestershire sauce, a 1/3 cup of Parmesan cheese. This is grated Parmesan. I added 1 egg, and I added salt and pepper to taste. I'll mix all of this up and then I'll add the breadcrumbs and it'll be time to bake. I've mixed in the breadcrumbs and I put the meatloaf in a greased pan and I'll bake it at 350 for 55 minutes. While the meatloaf is baking, I'll make the sauce that goes on top. This is a glaze with tomato ketchup and a good splash of your favorite steak sauce. Then just mix it up, and once the meatloaf is done, we'll turn the temperature up to 400 degrees, spread this all over the top, and then we'll put it back in to bake for 10 to 15 more minutes. Now that the meatloaf has baked for 55 minutes at 350, we'll turn the oven up to 400 degrees. We'll put the topping on and put it back in for 10 to 15 minutes. Now I'm going to brush on the topping of steak sauce and ketchup. You can use any type of sauce you want to put on top. You can eat it plain, or you can add anything you like. You can even add barbecue sauce. Now we'll put it back in the oven for 10 to 15 more minutes at 400 degrees. What's so great about this meatloaf recipe is that it doesn't have to be a recipe at all. You can put anything you want in with the ground beef, mix it up and bake it in the oven, and it turns out great. You can add peppers or onions or mushrooms, anything you'd like at all, anything of any sort. You could even add cheese. Instead of adding the breadcrumbs, you could add crumpled up crackers. So anything you like, any seasonings, any type of thing you prefer, you can add to this meatloaf and bake it in the oven at 350 for 55 minutes, and then you can add any type of topping or glaze on top you like, or you can just eat it plain. So let's take a look and see how it turned out. I'm so happy you joined me today, friends, as I made this meatloaf. It smells wonderful. The kitchen smells fabulous, and I can't wait to serve it for dinner tonight. I hope you try this recipe and make it your own. Create your own flavor of meatloaf. As always, if you enjoyed this video and this recipe, please like, share, and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you next time.